Hey everyone, momentaijankguy here, bringing you guys a brand new One Piece deck profile. It's been a minute since I've uploaded one with BO6 just coming out. It's been very hard to try to get like singles and stuff. Like I'm still trying to make Gecko Moria. I have everything except for the 8-drop Gecko Moria, which are pretty hard to find. Like obviously I could just buy it online, but I'm trying to like find it in person. That way it's like it's easier. All right, so let's get started. So it's going to be a Reiju deck, or if you want to call it a German double six deck. So this is our little Reiju. So during your turn, once per turn, when a Dawn when a Dawn card on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, you can draw a card. And it's not an optional effect, you have to draw a card. Because it doesn't say you may, it doesn't say buy or anything like that. So a very good card, 4 life leader and 5k power. And chopper. Alright, so let's get started. So we're gonna go off, this deck profile is gonna be a little different. We're gonna go off by the non-Vinsmoke cards that are in this deck first. So we play 4 Kayas. Kaya is just a very good card. If you play Nami, you know what this card does. It is a draw 2, trash 2 cards. It fixes your hand, and it's just a very good card in this deck. And you'll see why in just a bit. And it is a 2k counter, so very, very good card. Trying to get the tournament back once. I keep getting the block guy from CP9. And then we were playing 3 Miss Doublefinger Zala. She's a 4-drop 4k. She's a 2k counter. Have to trigger -1 Dawn. You can play this card, trash card in your hand. You can play a Dawn for your Dawn deck as rested. Also, reason why this card is just really good is because in the mirror, or if you have like a bad matchup, if you have this in your hand, because this deck does draw a lot, you want to hard play these to try to ramp as fast as you can to get the 8. That way you can spit out Judge, and you're not going to Judge for one, you're going to Judge to establish a board. Because I went 2-2 today again at my locals, and it's a pretty competitive locals, and I lost to purple red law, and my friend was like, hey, that's like your worst matchup. It's almost like an instant loss because they don't put stuff in your trash, they bottom deck everything. So this card is just a very, very nice card. All right, we'll keep this right over here. We are playing 4 Vinsmoke Sora. So this is your recycler of the deck. So she has the same condition as all the other kids. So we have Vinsmoke Sora. So on play, you may trash 1 card in your hand if your Dawn is less than or equal to your opponent's. You can add up to 1 Vinsmoke family type card. Was a power of 4,000 or less from your trash to your hand. So it's a very, very nice card. Recycles and allows you to do fun plays. So we're gonna start off. Oh, I hit the camera about that. Sorry about that. So we play 4 of those, and she's also a 2k counter. So that is a 11 2k counters in this deck, which is very good. So we play 4 Vinsmoke Ichiji. This is like the boss of the deck aside from Vinsmoke Judge. So you can return a Dawn and then play up to 1 Vinsmoke Ichiji with a cost of 7 from your hand or trash, which is what the gimmick of the deck does. You play a small body, you minus a Dawn to play a bigger body. And the bigger body is the 7-drop version of Vinsmoke Ichiji. So on play, so the minus Dawn doesn't matter how much Dawn the opponent has. The Dawn amount on the field matters how much the big versions have. So on play, if the number of cards on your Dawn is equal to or less than to your opponent, you can give one of your opponent's characters -2k and he gains Rush. So he's a 7k that can swing the turn he comes into play, and he's a bit annoying to get rid of because 7 is like a sweet spot because like, oh, I'm gonna swing 8, you block with 9. And he's a 7 cost, so if you play against like Block or something, or like Sakazuki still, before he gets banned, 7 cost is a bit annoying for them because they have to use a bit more resources to get rid of it. So this good card, very dumb. It also helps with 8-drop kid, making him a 6k, and you just like ramp face into it. Next up, I should have done this one first because she is the firstborn. It's gonna be 4. Reiju, I'm not going to keep saying Vinsmoke because we all know it's their last name. Reiju has the exact same condition as the baby Ichiji. So return to Dawn, play a Reiju with a cost 4 from your hand or trash. And remember, whenever you return a Dawn once per turn, you get to draw a card off the leader. We are playing 4 Reiju. So Reiju is pot agree. We all know what pot agree is. From you don't even have to play Yu, and you know what that card does. So this is your draw power of the deck. It's insane. You just recycle it like all over and over and over. On play, if the number of cards on the field is equal to or less to your opponent's Dawn, and if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, you draw 2 cards. So super easy to do because you play it's a blue deck but purple base, of course. And so you dump your hand, you block stuff, and then you just refill it with this. And she's a 5K, and which is very, very nice. And this is the only one that does not have counter. Everybody else does have counter. Because I think aside from the event cards, there are only 6 characters that do not have counters. Next, we are playing 3 Niji. Niji, same condition. You return a Dawn. You can play a 5-cost Niji from your hand or trash. And it plays... I am only playing a 3-3 split just because the drawing is more important and getting a rush 7k body is more important too. So this is like your little removal of the deck. So on play, obviously, if your Dawn is equal to or less than your opponent, you can get up to one of your opponent's characters, which costs 2 or less, which helps a lot because you can get rid of like chump blockers, you can get rid of Rosinante blockers, and even like search and stuff like that. Or you can return up to one of your opponent's character, which costs 4 or less to the owner's hand. So super nice card, and it's a 6k body. So like essentially for the deck, when they swing, you block with the big guys aside from this one to stop attacks. Then you play the weenies to just play the big ones. And next we are playing the last one, which a lot of people don't play this card. I feel like it's just really good because it's won me multiple games because of it. We were playing 3 Yonji. Yonji is the same condition, and he plays a he is the blocker of the deck, and so he's a very good card. He's basically your queen of the deck. There are a lot of lists that do play queen, like sure, the 5 Dawn turn is like you're playing, you go down to 4, you draw 2, trash 1, Reiju, you draw 1. You're basically breaking even, but you could do a lot more with 5 Dawn instead of playing queen, because you could play this for 2. Return a Dawn, draw a card, still play a blocker, and his all turn skill is even on the opponent's turn. As long as the Dawn is less than or equal to the opponent's, he gains an additional 1k power, making him a 6k blocker. So like, you could play this for 2. Play this for 2 on the 5 Dawn turn, having 1 Dawn up still. Put one of the rested Dawn back to the Dawn deck. Play this. Back to the Dawn deck, play the Reiju, and then still have 1 Dawn for the leader to swing for 6. And so you establish a blocker and another 5k body that they have to deal with. Same thing with this. You can do this and this, establish a 6k, get rid of something on the board, still establish a blocker and a bigger 6k body. And so I just feel like it's better than the queen, and also the queen is not searchable because there are only these are the only cards not searchable in the deck. And I've been having a lot of success with this. I used to play it on the sim, but the sim was a bit buggy for this deck, so I don't do that anymore. So yeah, we played 3 of this, and he's just a very good card. It's like, you don't care if they swing into it because you're just gonna bring it back, especially if it's the rush guy. And then we are only playing 2. You should only play 2. Is Vince Moe Judge. So Judge is a very great card. He does have a hefty cost, but for what he does, you get paid back even better. You only go into for certain matchups because you're not trying to get a crap ton of Dawn. And he's just a very solid card. So he is an 8 drop 8k. So on play, return 1 Dawn back to the Dawn deck, and trash 2 cards from your hand. You can play up to 4 German double 6 cards with different names. Just power $4 on the left from your trash. So potentially what he does is you trash 2, return a Dawn, and you play the whole family out. So you establish an entire board, and then you just go back and you do all the effects, and you just bring out bigger bodies. You can remove something, you can draw cards, minus something, rush into it, or swing a leader, and you establish a blocker. It's just really good. And then the additional skill too is you can return a Dawn to suspend one of your opponent's Dawn cards. So it's a very, very nice card. But you only need to play 2 of it because it is not a card you need to go in every matchup. Next, onto the event cards. So we are playing 4 Germa 6. So this is the searcher of the deck. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 card that has Germa in its type. And it's nice that it says Germa because you cannot add it itself, but you can add stuff like this because it does say Germa right there. So it adds everything in the deck that isn't the non-Germa cards. So super, super nice. And the trigger is really good too. It's just draw 1 card. And now the other searcher of the deck. And so usually stages like this are very bad where you trash a card to add a card back. Reason why this card is just so good is because you get rid of the big bodies in your hand to establish for the weenies. Like let's say you play an Ichiji, the 7 cost, and then you add back the 4 cost. So you can play the 4 cost and then play the one you just discarded, and you basically just like +1 essentially, or you broke even. And it's just really good. And it says you may reveal up to 1 card with Germa. So let's say you're trying to do like a Reiju play, you can choose not to add a card. So that way you can make sure that Reiju's draw 2 cards for having 5 or less cards in your hand is live. So very, very good. And I played the 1 of Black Bug. This card has come up so much. And it is searchable, funny enough, because it is Germa 6. This card is just great. If you have less than or equal to Dawn to your opponent, you can choose whatever your opponent's 5 cost or lower and bottom deck it, which is nice. It gets rid of Borsalino, gets rid of Queen blockers. It's just a very solid card. And the trigger effect is pretty good too. It's the same thing, but you return a 4 cost instead of a 5 cost. 4 or less. So very, very good deck. Good card. The deck's a lot of fun. The only change I would make, if I decided to, would to be to take out a 1/1 line and put in 2 puddings from this deck. The pudding is just really good against decks that draw too many cards, and reducing their hand from like 10 to 5 is very significant, and it just slows them down a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed the deck profile. I'm gonna try to get Gecko Moria as soon as I can. It's just gonna be hard to get all day drops. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.